Good day, everyone. You are welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. John Ojalato. In the previous lessons, we talked about fractions, addition of fraction, equivalent fraction. Today we will be talking about subtraction of fractions. And then initially we have earlier said that fractions are a part of a whole. A part of a whole. This part is 1 out of 4 parts. So we call it 1 over 4, a quarter, this particular part. So a part of a whole. Having dealt with addition of subtraction and equivalent addition of fractions and equivalent fraction, today we want to look at subtraction of fractions. Now before we talked about subtraction of fraction, we have to have a common denominator. Before fractions can subtract themselves or add themselves together, we have to talk about they have to have a common denominator. For instance, let's look at let's say 3 over 8, and then we want to subtract it from 5 over 16. Before we can proceed with subtraction, the denominators of each of these characters must be the same. Then what we're going to do is we're going to look for a factor, a number that can a number that is a factor for both figures. And what factor do we have here? We have 16. 8 we go in 16 in 2 places. 16 we go here in 1 place. So how many 8 can we find in 16? 2. Then we say 2 times 3 minus. How many 16 can we find in 16? 1. Then we say 1 times 5. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5 over the denominator. What we have is 1 over 16. So in subtraction of fraction, we must have a common denominator. Whatever it is, we must have a common denominator. Sometimes we are given mixed fraction to subtract. Mixed fraction, 3 whole number, 1 over 2, minus 1, 1 over 4. What do we do in this case? There are 2 ways in which we can do this. We first of all maybe subtract the integers, then later we go into the subtraction of the fractions. But sometimes, if we do the subtraction of integers first, we may have a situation in our hands, like for instance, let's assume we have something like this. If we have a situation like this, we first of all say 3 over 3 minus 1, which will 2, and then to subtract this from this, sometimes may be difficult because a quarter is smaller than half. So most times what is important, what is imperative to do is to convert the fractions first into mixed fraction. We are going to do these 2 questions together so that we will understand what I mean. We'll convert the fraction first into mixed fraction, then we can do our subtraction. So for clarity, we have something like this. So let's do this first question. Question number 1. 3 and half minus 1 and a quarter. So we say we'll convert this mixed fraction into improper fraction. What do we have? It will be 3 times 2, 6, 6 plus 1, 7, to give us 7 over 2. While 1 whole number, 1 over 4, will give us 1 times 4, 4 plus 1, 5. It will give us 5 over 4. Then this way, we can do our subtraction. What's the common denominator for both of these fractions? We have 4. How many 2 do we have in 4? 2. So we say 2 times 7. Then we come here. How many 4 do we have in 4? 1. Then we say 1 times the numerator. 2 times 7 is 14 minus 5 over 4. What does this give us? It gives us 9 over 4. We can leave the answer this way, or we can change it to a mixed fraction. How many 4 do we have in 9? 2. That's 8. 9 take away 8, 1. That's 1 over 4. Now, this is this fraction. Now, let's consider doing this second question, and let's see what it gives us. This second question. Let's convert this to improper fraction. 3 times 4, 12, plus 1, 13. We have 13 over 4 minus 2 times 1, 2 plus 1, 3. 3 over 2. We look for a common denominator. What's the common denominator here? 4. How many 4 is in 4? 1. 1 times 13. Then, how many 2 do we have in 4? 2. 2 times 3. What do we have? 13 minus 6 over 4. What does that give us? 13 minus 6, it will give us 7 over 4. How many 4 do we have in 7? That's 1. 4 minus 7 take away 4 to give us 3 over 4. You see, this is the answer. Now, if we had done something like taking 3, doing the integers first, we say 3 minus 1, it gives us 2. And then we come and say 1 over 4 minus 1 over 2. This question will be difficult to do, because this fraction, a quarter, is smaller than and half. But let's try it all the same. What's the common denominator here? 4. How many 4 is in 4? 1. 1 times 1, 1. Minus. How many 4 is in 2? How many 2 can we see in 4? 2. Then we say 2 times 1. What do we have here? 1 minus 2 over 4. What do we have? Minus 1 over 4. There is no fraction like this in reality. So we cannot say, okay, minus 1 over, then we will now come again and say, the integer we have, 2 minus 1 over 4. What will that be giving us? Yes, we can do the calculation. That will eventually give us 3 over 4. Which is this? How do we do that? 2 over 1 minus 1 over 4. The common denominator is 4. How many 1 is in 4? 4. 4 times 2 minus. How many 4 is in 4? 1. 1 times 1. And that gives us what? 8 minus 1 over 4. And that's what? 7 over 4, which is 1 over 3 over 4. You can see that this answer is same as this, but it's longer, because initially we had to get minus a quarter, then we'll now take the quarter from the integer. So the simplest way to do subtraction of mixed fraction is we first of all convert them to an improper fraction, then it will be easy to do the subtraction. It will be shorter for us, because once we want to do this way, we have a negative fraction. We will still have to remove the negative fraction from the integer that we have. I want to believe that with these few examples, you are able to have value for your time spent here. Thank you so much, and we'll meet in the next class.